back to the Nova Film Podcast. Today we got a really good topic, which is understanding entertainment law. My name is Jared Sayan, and today we have Jackie and Dylan. How you guys doing?
Hi, I'm good. My name is Jackie. Currently going to Nova for cinematography in the film production.
Hey everyone, my name is Dylan. I'm currently attending Nova to be an editor. Hopefully I actually graduate this semester. Fingers crossed.
That's nice. Same here. Cinema major and aspiring cinematographer. Could be, maybe PCU later. We'll see. Today we got this really nice topic, understanding the entertainment of law. So what is entertainment law? What do you guys think is entertainment law? Do you guys have any ideas?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I got a few things with all the research that I've been doing.
Great.
I found that it includes things like trademark, copyright, and right of publicity. It deals with contracts, property, labor law, insurance law. There's like a lot of other subtopics that go along with this. Those are just a few things that I found.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork and all the things that the creator doesn't want to deal with. What do you have to say, Dylan?
Mostly the same thing. I found that it just anything and everything had to have contracts and laws about it, because you don't want to be held accountable for something you might not have done, or something you did wrong, or something like that. Like everyone wants to make sure gets the work done and puts out a good movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, all these creatives, they have to have nowadays an entertainment lawyer. This is a really important step for all of us, since we're about to take our production to the next level, or that's the goal, right? Entertainment lawyers, what they do is basically they represent and protect all the interests of the creatives. They go through the contracts so people don't get like suits and lawsuits about stories, scores, whatever. So first, what we have? Okay, copyright. That's something really important. Copyright. What do you guys think is copyright is?
You own the rights to like marketing this project,
Mm-hmm.
and that no one can else use it without your permission, and sometimes even paying someone to be able to use it.
Yeah, I found a lot about copyright as well. most of the things that I found weren't so much under film, but a lot of it was under sound.
Yes.
And like when you put music into a film, for example, you have to have two different copyright agreements, and the sound has to be owned by the artist and the company, the record company. So a lot of that was like you have to have multiple documentations letting them know that you have the licensing for everything and you have permission for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys have any I would say like issues with copyright? Like maybe you had this project, screenwrite, short film, whatever, and you guys maybe wanted to use like a really specific song, you know, maybe like your favorite artist song for that production, but you couldn't.
So far in my just at Nova, I haven't experienced it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just besides the normal things that everyone's like, oh, that song's cool and I want to put it in, but I haven't actually like done any of that. I usually use like copyright free music.
Oh, cool.
From places like YouTube, they have like creator sections where you can just find like instruments and noises to help add to it. So I
Yeah, I
usually
love
use
those.
that.
They have saved all my life and Nova, all the sound effects and all the stuff. Yeah, really, really important.
When I did one of the film editing classes, not classes, for the production classes,
Yeah,
uh, we did the horror one, and
nice.
the horror one, and then the fighting one from like the very beginning of the film program with the professor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I discovered the YouTube like section there because that's where we had to post it for the professor to see it and grade it. And I
Yeah,
found the YouTube section, and just going through there, they don't have everything, but they have enough to get by.
yeah,
And
that's
it's really
actually yeah, that's a really really problem because I remember one of my editing classes we had to do this. I think I had Professor Stans for this class, and he made us do like a Foley project. It was really really fun. I remember back then I had COVID, so I couldn't work with nobody but my dad, and we literally recreate all the sounds, you know, and they were like super weird sounds, like alien sounds, and
yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. I literally like will go to my kitchen, grab some pans, and do some noises. It was fun. It was really, really fun.
Just sound design was one of those things that like
Yeah.
I didn't join the film program to be like that's what I want to do, but like that's one of the things that's caught my interest, is specifically Foley. The
Hmm.
weird stuff they do to design sound and just everything is weird and entertaining at the same time.
You gotta be super creative. Like you can literally get like a monster alien sound just by cutting meat. Like that's
Or
weird things.
or like a horse, like horses walking on ground or whatever. They
Yeah.
use like plungers, and that's how they make the clopping
Oh,
sound.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
I've seen this like behind the scene things with the sound production stuff where you have to like put stuff in shakers and pretend that it's like what's going on is really like it's completely the opposite of what you think is going to be seen on TV.
yeah, they're like in a studio just by themselves, but it looks really cool. It's not one of the things that I like thought about when I joined the film program. Like I came in to be an editor, but
yeah.
that screenwriting and cinematography are like three other fields that I'm like, oh, maybe when I get set in as an editor, I'll expand out a little bit and test in those fields because they seem like a lot of fun.
Definitely. Yeah, and some other type of movies or some other aspects of production that these lawyers they take into consideration, and like it's like really important too. It's like adaptation films. You know, adaptation films is basically you take the story out of a book or whatever you learn or like hear the story about, and you just put into a production. You know, put into a movie, and you gotta be really careful with what you add and what you take out of the story because it basically is a original story from somebody else, you know, and you're basically taking and make it yours. What do you guys think about that?
I never thought about that before because
Hmm.
I watch a lot of adaptation movies. I've watched Harry Potter, I've read the books, I've watched like Percy Jackson and stuff like that. There's
Yeah,
always something you're like, man, I wish they put that in the movie,
exactly.
or why did they cut that, or something like that. And usually I just assumed it's because it's a 2 hour movie. You don't want to have a 4 hour movie. Not everyone's gonna sit there and watch it.
Yeah,
Never thought about the legality of all that too.
right. Do you
I
have
just
any adaptation, like any favorite adaptation films?
that question is always the toughest. Favorites.
You say a random one, that's fine.
Harry Potter I really enjoyed.
Right.
If I had to pick a least favorite just off the top of my head, because I've been thinking about it, Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
I
I was
watched
gonna
them.
say that, yeah.
I watched the movies first, but then I ended up reading the books, and I was like, I like the books better. The movies don't stick too close to it,
Mhm.
but now
One
we
of
have a
my favorite
series coming out. Yay!
I was gonna say one of my favorites is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I love both the book and the movie. That was one of my favorites growing up, is like more of my high school era.
I don't think I have watched that.
It's really good. It's kind of sad. It focuses a lot on mental health, but it's definitely like a
Hmm.
great adaptation from the book to the movie.
Oh, where is it from? The production.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember. It's been such a
Oh,
long time since I've seen that movie, to be honest with you.
What was it
okay.
called? Wallflower?
Yeah,
Or
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Some teacher show like a clip of that movie for one of the class. I'm pretty sure. I
Yeah, the
cannot.
cinematography in it's really beautiful, I think.
Yeah, it could be that one.
let's
Yeah,
see,
go
it was directed by was it Stephen? I can say his name so wrong. Chbosky. I'm so bad with names,
ahead.
but it was written by him and directed by him as well.
Yeah, I thought it was I mean it's pretty close to the book, but like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen or read either one. But it was definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, it was a while ago. When did this come out? Yeah, 2012. It was like 10 years ago.
Sounds like it's time for a rewatch.
Yes, most definitely. I own this movie on DVD. That's how old it is.
Wow.
I think it's time for me to rewatch a lot of my favorite stuff too, or reread. Just like I've been so busy with school and stuff like that that I haven't had time to like
Same.
crack open like a book. I have like 7 books and like a bunch of movies on like watch laters that I just haven't watched yet.
Yeah. But
Or
today is it's kind of like a good day to just stay in the house and watch a movie, right? Like I was just chilling in the morning. I think I was having breakfast and I was like, today I feel like watching like a couple of movies before I go to sleep.
I wish I still have so many more projects to do.
Oh yeah, you remind me. Me too.
I have all of my projects, like this one's podcast episodes. I still have 2 more podcast episodes to record in this month, and then I also have my intro to graphic design projects I have to do, some art projects I have to do, and then I have my directing class. I still have 2 projects I have to do there as well, and everything's just kind of falling in the month of April, so
Yeah,
not much time to relax.
yeah. Movies that are protected by copyright law for 95 years. So you got a really long coverage from copyright. That's really good because you never know when someone's gonna take your idea, right? And just take it.
Did you ever figure out why it was 95 years? Because I didn't know that before.
I don't know. I literally just do some research. I mean, more than one website said the same thing. So I was like, I guess they're right.
It says, what was it? January 1st, 1978 is when it went into effect.
And I mean, this type of issue like copyright could happen to anybody, and it has happened in the cinematic industry already. To big movies like the Matrix, Alien, and also The Shape of Water. This movie had a couple of nominees for the Oscar and it still have some lawsuits, has some trouble with the law. That's crazy.
You said The Matrix, The Ship of Water. What was the other one?
And Alien.
Alien. Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. I read that I forgot the name of the screenwriter right now, but he worked in another project a couple of years before writing Alien, and he has some similarities with this other script he made with another guy. But at the end, they actually went according all the stuff, and they didn't have like enough proof to say that Alien was like a copy or like that type of stuff. So he got like there was no issues about it, and the guy was like release of all charges, and the movie was a success.
Huh. I guess it makes sense. So my dad works in the IT field, and like they sign contracts as well, and they sign stuff like, "Hey, I can't work with a competing company for like a while or whatever." Right? I didn't realize the film just industry had that too.
So now I guess we can respond some questions that I collect from some students at Nova. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I can go first just to get mine out the way real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The question I chose to answer was, what type of movies need special contracts? And what are some of the legal issues? Well, first of all, every movie needs a contract, not just for the movie itself, but for the workers. You got to make sure everyone is like all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. If someone gets hurt or something goes wrong or something like with Alien, there's a competing. We have contracts just to make sure that everything's just in order. It can lead to lawsuits and loss of production and stuff like that. It can get complicated pretty quickly.
Nice.
So my question was, how important is getting an entertainment lawyer for filmmakers nowadays? And the answer to that is going to be very, it's super important to get a lawyer. If you can get a lawyer as soon as possible, if sign early, if you can, don't wait. The best thing for you to do is to get pretty much cover your tracks and make sure that you're not going to get sued over like little things. Another thing is just knowing your business. So like as a lawyer, if you don't know what's going on in the entertainment industry and production, and you're specifically just like, for example, a music in the music industry, and you don't know anything about film, it's going to be a lot harder for your case to be made. Yeah, it's super important to get an entertainment lawyer. Another thing that I learned about entertainment lawyers as well was they have meetings with people almost every single day. They try to make relationships and communications as best as they can. I know some lawyers said that they would go to lunch with somebody different every day just so they can make those connections with everybody else and continue to have good clients and good relationships with other people in that industry.
That is something I've noticed in just part of the film program, right? But like in other works of fields, got to network with everybody.
Yeah.
To
Right.
go no,
You
it's
need everybody. You need like to meet people from music maker, from engineering, whatever. Like, you know, people, this guy know this guy that know this guy that owns the camera you want, that type of things. You know, you gotta be try to expand your networking as much as you can. That's what I'm trying to do with by moving to Richmond. Actually, there's a lot of I would say like production going on all the time in Richmond, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Just work in all the productions that I can, so I can meet more people, and hopefully, you know, find like a crew that I can work with, that I can relate to, and just make more productions, basically.
are you going right into the workforce after Nova, or are you going
Yeah.
to like VCU?
Yeah, I mean, I already applied to VCU. I haven't. It's been like a week now. They usually take. I think they're gonna let us know by June if you get accepted or not. But anyways, I'm already going by May. I'm gonna move by
Hmm.
May, and you know, I'm just gonna start making some moves. You know, I'm trying to meet some people, and let's see what they have.
That's nice.
I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically takes about 3 months, I think, for colleges to get back to you. So that's about right.
Sure, yeah. I also got
such
a job and all that stuff.
that's such a long time, 3 months.
Yeah,
It's not so
Yeah,
bad. It's like a summer,
right. Yeah, it's basically your summer.
a season.
I applied to VCU as well. I also applied to like the Czech Republic school that we
Oh,
had
yeah.
for that Professor Stallings talked about.
Mhm.
I applied to them too and a couple others, so I'm waiting to hear back, but I don't expect to hear back in like another month or two. But yeah.
That's nice. And well, the last question that we got is, what should a film student that has really low budget, I've been one of them, and I'm still one of them, must consider in order to not get in trouble with copyright? Well, you gotta consider a lot of things, a lot of things. Basically, first, like we say, you know, everything is DIY. You gotta do it yourself. You gotta find your own people. You know, if your friend can help you out with like a production assistant, call him, because unless you know you got people that you can pay and they're more like professionals, like a gaffer, cinematographer, whatever. You can hire them. That's cool. You basically gotta consider what they're gonna use in your pre-production, production, and post-production. You know you got a low budget. You gotta use it in the things you really need. Once I have this, I wouldn't say like a problem, but like I was directing. I was directing a short film for my directing class, and I basically wrote this story thinking of a song. You know, like kind of inspiration of the story was this song, and I never did the research like I should have done. So the moment that I wanted to like get a song from this from the artist, I found out that the second for the song is $1,000, $1,000 to use. So that's like way too much money.
Yeah.
That's way too much money. I was thinking of just getting a guitar and try to play it. I used to play guitar. I'm not good at it, but I was just desperate because I really wanted that song. We ended up actually the actor of the short film. He was a music major, and he helped us out with some sounds and some weird noises, and we ended up just making something more experimental. But he ended up really good. He ended up really good. My professor, Professor Awad, he chose my movie like the best one from the class, and it was my final short film, so it was really really nice.
Congrats.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, it was really really nice that moment when he was like, when we stopped the screen, the movie in the big screen of the classroom, he was like, wow, that was fascinating. I was about to cry. I was like, damn, we made it. So it was a really nice moment for sure. Yeah. Mm, what else can we talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about just expanding on networking. So that's supposed to be
Okay.
the big topic. Since this is for future film students, Professor Starling said he would show it to future film students at Nova. Make sure you network. Like, unfortunately, COVID messed up a lot of stuff for like past 2 years, and like personally for me, I didn't get the chance to network with my fellow students as much
Mm,
because everything was online. So they
Right.
really wanted to make it so that you can go to anyone that is in the film program that you might know them, be like, hey, I need a cinematographer from the short film I'm doing in a separate class. And it's kind of one of the downsides to COVID, many downsides to COVID. But one of my regrets is that we just never got to experience that as much.
yeah.
Right. You were your own production team.
Yes.
Yeah. With your
Yeah.
phone, whatever you might had in the house, and whatever you happen to order from Amazon.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I
I
wasn't the only one.
yeah, I think everyone experienced that the past 2
Yeah.
years. I remember when COVID first hit, I was in Professor Starling's production first class, and we ended up having to switch one of the projects to a stop motion project because we were going to do like another short film. It wasn't a good project. Taken on my phone, I ordered some like stick figures from Amazon that didn't work out too well. The lighting changed in the room. I just didn't have enough lamps. It was really bad. Not one of my
Oh, yeah.
favorite projects.
It's
um,
understandable.
yeah, but I mean, now that we're slowly getting back, I'm meeting people in person that I actually like only saw online.
Right.
A lot of people in like my directing class, I was like, oh, I recognize your name. I don't have a face because cameras weren't on.
Mm.
It's a
But
super different experience.
Right. When you find out how the person you were talking to the screen, you finally see his face, and you're like, oh, that's you.
it really is.
Mm.
And even the teaching styles are different because I struggled through 2 years of COVID because I don't online lectures just aren't the most interesting thing to listen to, no matter how interested you are in the topic.
Definitely
Right.
not. Even if you're a cinema major, you gotta be there. You gotta see the things. You gotta, you know, put your hands
Yeah.
on the lighting, the camera, all the stuff. Yeah.
Uh, Professor Stallings, the red cameras we have on campus, I managed to only 3 of us showed up for one of his classes like 2 semesters ago. But we couldn't touch anything. We had to look from a distance. And I was like, man, I really just want to mess with these cameras because
Yeah.
now I'm renting out all this equipment from Nova for my directing class, but I don't know how to use it very well because it was all slideshows and I've actually got to touch and feel and actually use. And it's like, man, this kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I was lucky enough that I actually got a camera for Christmas. So I was able to I started messing around with it for the last couple months, but it feels so unnatural to
Yeah.
actually use technology that I can use or I'm supposed to use instead of just my little iPhone clips.
What camera do you get?
Right now I have a Canon T7i.
T7i. Nice.
Do you guys have any short projects you guys are doing right now? Because I know we talked about contracts earlier, and
I have a script written that I would like to produce over the summer, but we'll see how
Nice.
that goes.
Let us know. Let us know.
yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I was talking a little bit with I'm in an acting class too with my actor friends and they seem interested. But that was mainly the thing that I was lacking because I know that a lot of people are more comfortable behind the camera than in front of it, which I know that's something that I definitely am. And so that was one of the things I was struggling with, but everybody seemed pretty interested in it. So we'll see how
Yep.
it goes.
Guilty. I am way more comfortable behind the camera. I can't act at all. I took an acting class because it was just one of the things we had to take, and
Oh
Right.
my god, acting class was, oh my god.
I
Wait,
can
Acting-
walk behind the camera as an extra. I got you with that. Other than that, no, thank you.
you know,
acting
yeah,
over Zoom is rough.
wow.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm sure. I have mine in person this semester, which is, thank God.
I think that'd be a whole lot better because when all of our projects ended up being monologues, so we just
Yes.
stand in the room talking to a camera and we have to like pick monologues that we had to do. We didn't get someone to work off of or anything like that. And it was interesting, but it was not my cup of tea, something I'd want to do.
Right.
But funny enough,
Um,
we talked about contracts in there too.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit as well. Building a resume and so forth.
Yay, all the fun stuff.
Right, right. Actually, it's funny enough that you mentioned that too, because I know that like in going back to what we're supposed to be talking about, the artists I've found can be very technical. And a good example I found was in one of the videos I watched in my research. Just an example was that Van Halen had to have all of his brown M&Ms out of the M&M bowl or he wouldn't eat the M&Ms. And that just goes to show like how picky people are, and like they like some people I'm not even kidding you, they would get like contracts written up for people to pick candy out of his bowl.
Wow.
Like how
What?
ridiculous is that? Yeah, like I couldn't believe it. They were talking about it for a while too. They were like, yeah, he's just super picky, and that other artists
Wow.
like this are very technical about like how they are behind the camera, because they're just like, oh well, I'm the main star, so you can spoil me now or I'll leave. And it's like, sure.
Wow. I just can't believe what type of lawyers do they have. I know they're like tired of their
Right.
things.
I could not imagine.
Right?
Right.
They type and type contracts for every M&M.
No, no, it's not every M&M, but
I know.
it's
Wow.
I
not
love
that dramatic, but it's pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
I love M&Ms. I can't believe it.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Like a lot of all the people involved in the industry, in the entertainment industry, they need a lawyer. You know, performance, directors, writers, musicians, producer, the cast, the talent, of course.
Right. I mean, all lawyers, it's not like they're just specifically in the film industry, but it helps for them to know about it.
Mhm.
But most of them are, yeah, they go through the whole 9 yards, the whole 10 whatever years of law practice you got to go through to get where they are. And yeah, being a lawyer is not easy, to say the least. Because I mean, some of the research I was going through, a lot of the questions that we're seeing, how to become a lawyer, how to do law, how to practice law, all that kind of stuff. And like a lot of people were saying, well, if you want a good law job is in the entertainment business, because they do so much business, which is literally what our entire production is. You have to name each company. It's a whole business, but most of the time they were saying get a job in LA or New York, go and find people to make connections with. It's a lot of fun, have lunch with somebody every day. That kind of stuff was most of the stuff I was finding for like jobs in New York and LA and stuff. If you wanted to become a lawyer, those are the best places to go.
Makes sense. There's so many people working on just one film that everyone needs a contract. Everyone wants to be
Exactly.
covered and safe just in case something goes wrong. She never knows.
Yeah.
Production
Right.
could
You got to
fall
protect
through.
your butt.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, because these contracts, they talk about money, you know, they're not a couple hundreds, they're like sometimes millions of dollars, you know, you gotta be extra careful with the stuff.
Right. And a lot
Yeah.
of it goes into like you have to compromise a lot of the stuff that you're going to do to get the deal that you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about because I never thought about before like researching this, like how much before this class or anything like that, how much just laws and like
Yeah.
contracts and lawyers are involved in this because like we said, everyone wants to make sure they're okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, there's things too where I found that if you don't want to get, or sorry, if you wanted to get credit for what you're getting, there's like something called a handshake deal where you can just, oh, hey, and you can't just verbally say it. You have to write it down. If you don't write it down, then a lot of
Yeah.
times people have gotten screwed over from doing stuff like that.
Sounds like even if you're working with your best friend, you want to make sure you have a contract just in
Have it written
case.
down. Yeah. Seriously, I mean, there was cases that I read through where people were like little things that they've been friends for a long time, and it's like that doesn't matter. A lot of it comes down to like money, and that kind of sucks because it's like you're forming all these relationships with people, and it's like if they're not getting what they expected to get, oh, we're friends, you can give me $100,000 while you pay somebody else 50, and it's like you're not even the lead in my movie. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, something that actually this class helped me understanding a lot this other aspect of the film industry. You know, like it's also business. Like we can't forget that. You know, like we can be like super passionate about the movies, the cinematography, and directing, but it's also important to know what's next. You know, because otherwise you're gonna get lost in the real industry and you can just get to nowhere because there's people actually taking consideration the contracts, the legal stuff. So
Yeah, get
this
lost in all the
class was
fancy
really,
words.
mhm,
Right.
yeah,
You got to read the fine print.
Isn't that why they
yeah,
pay lawyers the big bucks to understand
yeah,
those fancy words?
right.
Right. Exactly. I don't know if I could be a lawyer. I would.
Oh,
I don't know if I could do it.
nah, I mean, I don't see it. I can see it from myself. I know in my first semester I was in business. For some reason I was in business. I don't even know why. And I found out that Nova had like the cinema program. I was like, okay, I'll do it. In the first semester, like I remember that the moment I left the office, I was thinking like, what have I done? Why did I do? Why did I do that? Like,
Is that
no.
how you got into the film program?
I mean, I've been loving movies since ever, like since I really was born, you know. And I'm from Peru, so in Peru we do have that career, but like people say like, no man, how can you study cinema? That's just movies and blah blah. You won't make money. And I mean, back then it's kind of true, like the cinematic industry in Peru is all right, but it's kind of like the same thing. You'll see the same director for the last 30 years. They don't give a
You
chance
know,
to like the young people.
I've gotten that a lot too, where people have told me before, like, you're setting yourself up for failure if you're going to go into the
Don't
cinematography
listen to
or
that people.
cinema. Right, right. No, that's what I'm saying. But when you look at it, I'm taking all my classes, most of it is business. Most of it is like almost getting a business degree. Instead, I'm just doing it under cinema. And it's
Yeah,
like, you don't know what you're talking about because you're not even in my class. So how would you know? And it's just like, it's just funny to me how people like they always doubt you. And it's like, you don't know anything.
right. You're like you don't know stallions. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying too, is like a lot of it is all about business. And it's just kind of crazy how like even things like this, like the entertainment
yeah,
law is like insane because you have to go through all these contracts and meeting people and just putting yourself out there, marketing every day and all that to
mm,
get to where you want to go.
yeah,
You got to know the basics of it. You don't need to be like a lawyer or anything, but you got to know the basics of what you're going to be getting into when you go join the
Right.
film industry. And even if you don't join the film industry, the media industry overall, commercials, just anything that involves media, we could probably transfer a lot of stuff we're learning here into that and expands our options as well.
Yeah, that's something else that I saw come up a lot too, is that you need to keep up with the media, you need to keep up with the news, you need to keep up with freaking Kim Kardashian for like every little thing you need to keep in tabs. Seriously, that was one of the things that I was reading a lot about. They were like, if you don't know what's going on in the outside world, how are you gonna fight for what your person is trying to negotiate? And it was like a lot of stuff
yeah,
like that where you got to know every single detail of like who's in their friend group and like stuff like that. Who do they know that you don't know that they know?
yeah. I
Hey,
mean,
I
makes
guess
sense.
it takes only one big court case or something to change everything,
Right, exactly.
to change just the precedence of what's been going on. If tomorrow a huge court case pops up and says, oh, movies are illegal, they're teaching our kids bad things, it's an 18 plus genre only now, we would
Damn,
have to live in that world.
I don't want
Right.
to
I
live
mean,
in that
that's they put all that in the beginning of most movies too now. I mean,
one.
there's what is it, the Disney Plus thing going around where there's like stuff with old Disney movies. Like I think one example was Peter Pan and how they had to write like a list of or like an ad in the front of it that said, hey, if you're going to watch this, just know that the time that it was made is like a weird period where there was like things going on in the world that aren't going on in the world now. And I think if I'm not mistaken, it was the thing about the kids. It's like the conspiracy theory that this is why they had to put it in, that the kids were all dead or something along those lines, or in the second one or the third one where the war was being drafted and people were being drafted out and people were dying in the bombing in the beginning of it, and they were like, this is so violent for a kids movie. And it's like, it's a
I
kids
didn't know
movie.
that.
Yeah, they have ads. I think another one was for Aladdin, because there was like a racist stereotype in one of the lines. I don't even remember. It was I haven't seen that movie in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was like, those are also things that now, because they didn't put that in their agreement and their copyright and all of the contracts they had, they are getting sued or got sued already. I'm not sure if that went through, because they didn't put those little fine prints that you gotta seriously sort through.
Yeah, if you've ever had Dr. Brown, I like to think his like most famous saying that he has while teaching is movies are a time capsule. They encompass everything that they had in that time, from just ideology of people making it, even just passively, and it affects us now because like those things at the start saying, hey, just warnings.
Right.
When we open that time capsule, we have to deal with those issues now. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like, hey, this was
like a-
made in that time.
Like a reminder.
And people are stupid overall, right? Like some people will take things literally, like, oh, this animated movie did it, so I could do it. No, calm down.
Right.
I don't need to do
Right.
that. This is just a fiction. This is a work of fiction. Like, it's okay. And I guess it's like safety level, really.
Yeah, I mean that's the power of movies, you know. They'll take you to do stuff that you don't want to do.
Right. I mean, it's
Power
the
of
same
media.
thing. It's the same thing as studying history. I mean, none of those things are what they are